All right, hello everyone. My name's Mark. Today we're going to walk through playing games on Board Game Arena. And there's a lot to do on Board Game Arena. We're not going to cover all of it. We're really just going to get you set up, started playing. So if you're new to Board Game Arena and you're curious about like, hey, how do I hop on and start playing? This is the video you want to watch. Now you'll see I'm not logged in. I'm going to go ahead and log myself in. And you'll be prompted to make an account the first time that you come on. That's not too hard. You've been on the internet before. You can make an account. So this is the home page. It's more or less a news feed. It'll usually tell you what the newest games on Board Game Arena are. They release games all the time. So that's really cool because there's always something new to play and explore if that is your thing. So there's a few pages here that we're not really going to discuss today. The first is the forums. So there's a lot of discussion that you can have on games or the implementations of the games on Board Game Arena on the forums. The community is where you can search for people. You can search for groups to join that maybe have the same interests. You can also curate a friends list from there. But it's not where you're going to set up games and actually play them. Next is the news feed. I'm skipping over the games tab because we might actually take a quick look at that. But the news feed is just, again, a lot of times it's going to tell you what the latest games on Board Game Arena are. It can be fun, but you're not going to be playing games on that page. And then over here in the top right, if you click this little icon, that's what I have set up as my avatar. You can see this is kind of your own personal feed. Right now, this is where my active games would be showing. Right now, I don't have any active games, so it's not showing anything, but it shows you recent achievements and things that you've done and recent conversations and games played, and you can click through to your profile as well, and you can take a look at your stats, like the number of games that you've played, the friends that you have. You can see win stats, all sorts of fun stuff. And then if you click over here to the games tab, this is where you find the games, duh. But it can be a nice way to see games that are like other games that you might enjoy. I love Board Game Arena for exploring and discovering new games, and this can be how you do it. Do you like cooperative games? Well, you can search by type of game. Do you like trick-taking games? You can do that too. It'll make recommendations for you. It'll show you the latest games on here. So there's different ways that you can search for games, which I think can be a fun way to discover new things out there and then try them out to see how you like it. But now we're going to get to the heart of the thing, which is the Play Now tab, which is where I spend most of my time on the site. So here you see a list of my favorite games. Now, usually when I first join the site, when I first log in, it shows me this, which is far fewer games. So if I click this display options button, I'm going to change this to medium icons, and voila, there's a lot more games that I can look at and consider. And right now I have it set to turn-based. You can also set it to real-time here up at the top. And you can see the number of tables available. So if I wanted to play Gang of Dice, there are 5 turn-based tables available for me to join. And if I clicked on that, I would see those tables, and then I could click join on them, and I would hop into that table and I would be in a game. I'm not going to do that right now, but it is available to you. If you scroll down here past your favorites, you'll see other games as well. You can actually search for games this way too. There are other games that I've played that aren't among my favorites. There are suggestions that the site is making for me. And if I were to click this little heart icon, say on Ark Nova, they would add it to my list of favorites up here. So you can add to the things that you want to find more quickly that way. Most of the time, especially if you're new to Board Game Arena, you're going to stay on simple game up here on the top left. Arena is another play mode that they have for people, and then you can join tournaments as well. So that might be something that interests you for your favorite games. Then over here on the right-hand side, manual choice of opponents. You can also say, I only want to play with my friends. So that can be one way to limit the number of people and the types of people that you're playing with. But let's say we wanted to set up a game of Ink and Gold here. All right, great. Here's the 2 tables I can join, but I don't want those tables. I want to make my own. So I'm going to hit the Create button, and it'll take me to a new screen. Now, there's a lot of different things I can do on this screen, and I'm going to walk you through a handful of them. Over on the left, you have the table configuration. This is where it gives you the options for setting different parameters for the game itself. Ink and Gold is a very simple game. There aren't many variables that you can tweak. But over here, for example, if I want it to be a faster game or a slower game, I can do that. If I want it to be entirely turn-based or say no time limit if I'm playing with friends, then I can do that as well. If there are games that have variant rules that are toggleable, or if there are expansions that you can turn on and off, this is where you'll find that as well. So there'll be a lot more options for some games over here than others. So right here, I have it set up for a 5-player game. I can adjust that if I like. And then down here, I could invite friends. It shows me which of my friends are currently online. I can also just type in a name if it's somebody who's not in my friend list. And the other thing that you can do is restrict table access. And I already have a couple things set up here since it saved my recent settings from the last time I was on the site, I think. But if I click this little button here, restrict table access, it brings this up. So this is where you can say, all right, I'm a new player at this game. I don't want to play masters, experts, and strong players because I'm just learning the game. Or I don't want players with bad reputations on the site. These are your players who have abandoned a lot of games, and that can be a frustration for other players, naturally so. And so I might say, all right, I only want players with reputation of 75% or higher. You can also restrict it to groups. So I'm in a couple different groups, and I also have a friends list. So if I wanted to limit it only to my friends, I could say, all right, well, this table's only for my friends. And you can also restrict it by language. I don't think I've ever used that, but you're welcome to. And then we still don't have a live table right now. This still isn't open for business. But if I hit this open table to other players, it is open for business. Because it's a turn-based game, it's prompting me to accept. Because it's saying, hey, this is a turn-based game. It's going to take, we guess, around 4 days. Are you okay with that? So I hit accept. And now we have an open table that my friends with reputation 75% or above can join. So at this point, you can invite them. They could randomly find it in their feed, but you probably don't want to wait around for that. The other thing that you can do is you can actually just grab this URL and share it with somebody. So if you're like texting with them, or I'll do a lot of communications on Discord or other apps with my friends. So if I send them this link, they'll be able to come to this table and join it, so long as they are one of my friends and have a reputation of 75% or higher. If those two aren't met, in this particular example, they would not be able to join the table. So I'm not actually going to play this game, so I'm going to hit quit game because we're not playing this right now. I'm just showing you how to set up a game. But that is exactly how you would go about setting up a game of Ink and Gold. Now, if we go back to the Play Now tab, there's one other way that you can do the exact same thing that I just showed you. And so let's collapse this, and we've got our list of games again. So if I click on one of the game names, actually, before I do that, one quick thing I want to mention. You'll see these little yellow meeples in the corners of some games. That means they are a premium game and you need a premium account to play. But everything that doesn't have one of those yellow meeples, you can play with a free account, which I think is pretty awesome because there are a lot of free-to-play games on Board Game Arena. But let's click on this one here, Turn the Tide. This is one of my favorites. And now it takes me to the games page. And from here, there are, a lot of times there'll be instructional videos on how to play the game. You might be able to read a PDF of the rules. You can see who's ranked the highest. I can look down here and see who are the highest ranking players. But the other thing you can do is set up a game of Turn the Tide from the page for Turn the Tide. So the same options that I just mentioned to you, do I want a real-time game or a turn-based game, are here. And then how many players do I want? What do I want the speed of the game to be? And then here are some of the options that I can toggle between for Turn the Tide. And basically everything that I just showed you on that other screen, you can do on this screen as well. And then once I set it up like I wanted to, and I hit the start button here, that would open the table to other players, and I would be able to do the exact same thing as before. So that is the second way. I'm not quite sure why they give you two different ways to set up a table, but you can get to the same place regardless of which one you prefer. And that about does it. That's everything you need to get started on Board Game Arena, find some cool games, and start playing them with friends or even complete strangers. I'm a real big fan of Board Game Arena. I've learned a lot of games on Board Game Arena. Many of them have led to purchases of games that I now have in my personal collection and really enjoy. And then other times I just like to play live online with friends, or occasionally I'll play asynchronously as well. I think it's a really great tool. I do have a premium account, so I have access to the premium games as well. And that is, as of the time of this recording, here in late 2023, it's I think $36 a year or $3 a month. But really, you don't need a premium account to get a lot out of Board Game Arena. So I'm a big fan of it. I hope this helped if you're looking to play some games, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Cheers.